should tell you this, but I don't know who may be listening. There may be a group of people that want to get rid of me. They don't want me here anymore.
I don't understand. What do you mean? Talk to me.
I can't talk about it over the phone. I don't know what's going to happen, but I just feel in my soul, only God knows, they could shoot me. They could stab me. They could frame me and say I overdosed you on drugs. They can do a lot of things.
Who could do these things?
It's not the government. It's more than the government. But I don't know, Tita. I don't care. They can take me. I don't even care my life anymore. I just want my children to be okay. My angels. I want them to be safe.
Michael.
Right, that clandestine government program, which we know happened here in America. It's undeniable. Most of the files were destroyed. Obviously, if you were in the book club, you have already fallen down the rabbit hole of chaos, recognizing the power of the media, the power of psychiatrists, our government. And our next book that we're reading is Hollywood Babylon. How fitting, where it all began, how these programs are executed in Hollywood. All right, well, we've also recently taken you guys down the rabbit hole of what exactly happened to Kanye West, now goes by Ye, which the media just conveniently ignored. It wasn't interesting to them. The now infamous text message from his quote-unquote trainer, Harley Pasternak, just a gym trainer who actually came out of a military program where he was allowed to experiment with and administer psychological medicine within what would be the equivalent of the Canadian Department of Defense with ties to MKUltra. Totally normal. They're threatening Kanye, I'm going to put you back in the hospital. You won't remember anything. He's basically saying, I'm going to do to you, what we kind of did to Britney Spears. There's a cocktail of medicine, and we can give people mental disorders. That is a fact. If you read Chaos, you know that is a fact. They discovered that ability in the 60s. Anyways, I think overall during the last 3 years, it's safe to say that we as a society are learning that there is a very dark element to psychological methods. That seems to be the name of the game. Psychiatric care, psychology, coupled with the mainstream media, pretty well established pathway of destruction, whether you're talking about COVID, where it was a mass psychosis. It captured all of society and instantly we were modifying our behavior, or if you're talking about them targeting certain individuals like Britney Spears, Kanye West, which brings me to the topic of Hollywood and child stars, regarding which Justin Bieber obviously was an idyllic one. His career began way back when he was just a sweet little kid making YouTube videos, sharing his gift of singing with the world. Here's a reminder of little baby Justin Bieber. Take a listen.
I don't want nobody else. Without you, there's no one left, and you're like Jordans on Saturday. I gotta have, and I cannot wait now. Hey, little shawty, say you care for me. You know I care for you. You know that I'll be true. You know that I won't lie. You know that I will try to be your everything. 'Cause if I got you, I don't need money. I don't need cars. Girl, you're my heart. And ooh, I'm into you.
There's something about a child singing. It just completely warms your heart. And then we found out that he was also musically gifted. He knew how to play, among other instruments, the guitar, proving that really he just had this passion and this love of music. Here's another little baby Bieber singing Edwin McCain's I'll Be. Take a listen. But before there was a Justin Bieber, let's just pause for a second. There existed the childhood talent of all childhood talents. Now, let's throw it back to Michael Jackson, okay? Because remember, his voice, what was he, 5, 6 years old? Take a listen, you guys.
When I had you, I treated you bad and wrong, my dear, and guessing since you went away.
I see people in the chat already saying, I'm crying. I know I am crying already. And yeah, this is a little bit of a tearjerker of an episode because you forget how young and how innocent these people are. And then what happens to them when they get inside of Hollywood. And you know what? Regarding Michael Jackson, this is really important because earlier last year, in August to be precise, so just after we began the new show, the independent show here, we presented what I actually think is our most important Hollywood piece ever, and it is relevant to the Justin Bieber story. We presented it because it was Michael Jackson's, or what should have been Michael Jackson's 66th birthday. Now, bear with us because, like I said, it's relevant now and we need to recap it. We asked our audience at that time, what do you remember about Michael Jackson? You don't remember the voice, the young kid. You remember that, yeah, he was an incredibly talented singer and a performer who wound up broke and disgraced and died young. And there were these allegations of pedophilia. You remember that he was also accused of being anti-Semitic. You remember that he was, well, wacko jacko. What you don't remember is how exactly a person who was positively adored and loved by the world for 30 years in the public eye, loved, adored, not a single allegation, and then boop, just like that, took a very sudden and a dark turn. So we got to remind you, this is how it happened, at least if the press was to be believed at that time. And I'm just going to let this portion of our former episode run. So take a listen. So Michael himself had been in the public eye performing for 30 years, and he was nothing but adored. I mean, from his relationship with Princess Diana, Michael was everywhere. And it was just agreed that there would never be a talent like Michael Jackson. But then something happened in 1993, something very unusual given the fact that this was a man that was in the spotlight so much. It was in 1993 that the very first allegation came against him, made from a screenwriter in the industry. He was both a screenwriter and a dentist named Dr. Evan Chandler. It was based in Los Angeles, and his accusation was that Jackson had sexually abused his 13-year-old son, Jordan. Horrific. Now, how this came about was that Jordan told his psychiatrist that Jackson had molested him. And then the LAPD began a criminal investigation. But the investigation actually found no physical evidence against Jackson, and it was closed. The case was closed less than 1 year later. Now, that should have stopped the media from reporting on it. Michael Jackson wasn't guilty, but we know the media has never let facts get in the way of them having a good time. They broke the allegations worldwide, which led Michael Jackson to cancel the second leg of his Dangerous World Tour in August of that same year. And he cited health issues, health problems that were stemming from the stress of the entire scandal. And do you want to know what actually added to the stress? This is actually horrific. His sister, LaToya Jackson, came right out and she said, yup, Michael Jackson is a pedophile. But then something weird happened. She didn't provide any evidence. She didn't even attach that statement to a story. And when people prodded her about that, why did you say your brother is a pedophile? She admitted that it was her husband who had forced her to make that statement. Now, it's very strange. Who is LaToya Jackson's husband? Well, here's a photo of her with him. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Like Dr. Evan Chandler, this man is Jewish. I'm going to tell you why that matters as we get more into the Michael Jackson story. Her husband is a Jewish Russian immigrant, it says. His name used to be Jack Leon Gordon, and he then changed his name, also changed where he said he was born. He claimed that Las Vegas was his birthplace until he changed his name in 1981 to Samuel Isaac Gordon. And then he changed his name again in 1983 to Clifford William Johnson. And then he said he was born in Springfield, Massachusetts. Okay, this is all getting really weird. Why is this person changing his name so many times? And why is he pushing his wife to say that her brother is a pedophile? I mean, that's at least what LaToya Jackson said. And the story is going to get even stranger and stranger, making me think that we should maybe go back and re-examine his relationship, Michael Jackson's relationship, and with young Jordan and how these allegations came about. So let's do that. First and foremost, how did Michael Jackson meet little Jordan Chandler? It's actually kind of, the stars must have just aligned, literally the star being Michael Jackson. His car broke down on the side of the road. And he called the police. He was like, I'm Michael Jackson. Can you please come help me deal with this car? And they were like, no, actually, we can't help you deal with your car on the side of the road. And he made a bunch of phone calls. And then finally, somebody was driving by and they were able to help him. And that someone was an owner of Rent-A-Wreck. His name was David Schwartz. David Schwartz then gets Michael Jackson, tows the king of pop, could you imagine this, back to his shop and obviously calls his wife. And her name is June Chandler Schwartz. And he's like, literally the most famous person in the world is standing in our shop. You might want to get down here real quick. And guess what? June got down there real quick and she brought her young son, Jordan, with her. And then the relationship was born. Michael Jackson, as so many fans were surrounding him at this wreck place, he began speaking to the little boy because he, I guess, felt uncomfortable about all the press. They had a conversation, and he felt that the family was just so kind to him that they became really close friends. He traveled around with Jordan. He brought Jordan's mother with him, took them everywhere, hosted sleepovers with Jordan, along with other young boys. Obviously, we all know about his Neverland Ranch, and our understanding of that up until this point was just that Michael Jackson always felt that he didn't have a childhood. And so he always felt badly for children and wanted them to have an experience, have a real childhood, and created a ranch to make that a plausibility. Like he wanted to create Disney World forever for children. Then some things got kind of strange as you start to look into the story. You're going, okay, so they were friends. The media loved it. They referred to them as Michael Jackson's adoptive family. They loved the background story. And then apparently this kid's dad, Jordan Chandler, and to be clear, the person who picked Michael Jackson up and took care of his car was Jordan Chandler's stepfather. But his real father started going, I actually don't like his relationship with Michael Jackson. And that's interesting because then you find out that despite the fact that his real father, Dr. Evan Chandler, made these allegations against Michael Jackson, despite the fact that you learn that it was him that did this, Jordan Chandler, just a year later, decided to emancipate from both of his parents. So you're following me. He's 13 years old. His biological father makes allegations at the age of 13 against Michael Jackson, the king of pop. And a year later, Jordan Chandler moves to emancipate from both of his parents. In case you're not aware of what emancipation is, it's essentially you go to the court and you can say a variety of things. You show them that you have some way to make money and you say, I do not want to be the child of either of these parents. Literally emancipate me before I turn 18. And the judge grants that if they believe that there's enough evidence that you should be emancipated. He did this. Jordan Chandler did this. And it makes you wonder, like, how could you do this to your dad? I mean, like, your poor old man, that must have been a really tough decision for Dr. Evan Chandler to stand up to the king of pop and all his power and all his fandom and to say, hey, he molested my child and it wasn't on my watch. My wife is remarried. He shouldn't have even been having sleepovers. You would think that Jordan would adore his father for having done this. And then you find out that when he turned 16, he filed a restraining order against his dad because his dad tried to beat him with a weight. Hang on, because this is going to be very important, you guys. A weight. So you've got this Dr. Evan Chandler character who's now trying to beat his son, Jordan, who's now 16, knowing all his son had experienced at the hands of the king of pop, allegedly. He decides to just try to beat him with the weight. What could have led to the breakdown of their relationship? I mean, it's not like a father could have done something like compel his son to say that he had been molested by Michael Jackson if he hadn't been, right? It's not like Evan Chandler, his biological dad, drugged his son Jordan into a confession of some sort, like they were using drugs like that in Hollywood. Oh my God, wait, no, you guys, you're not going to believe this. Yes, Jordan Chandler, the son, was literally drugged by his father, dentist Dr. Evan Chandler into a confession. This is from an article at that time. It reads, on August 2nd, 1993, dentist Dr. Evan Chandler was extracting a tooth from his own son, Jordan, when he did something unusual. Under the supervision of an attending anesthesiologist, Dr. Chandler injected his son with a dose of sodium amytal, a barbiturate. Although in popular culture, it has sometimes incorrectly been called a truth serum, it is not normal to use sodium amytal to pull a tooth. In fact, it is a psychological drug with sedative and hypnotic effects, end quote. Dr. Evan Chandler, after compelling this confession from his son, literally drugging him, it's giving Harley Pasternak vibes, then demanded $20 million privately from Michael Jackson to not make it public. He also took his son to a psychiatrist and made his son describe graphic details of what Jackson had done to him, but not to any of the other boys who were present as well. You know, Jordan's mother, June Schwartz, thought that her ex-husband was insane and knew that he was lying. So Jordan's stepdad, the one who had initially picked up Michael Jackson, a man named David Schwartz, decided to confront the biological father and secretly record him. Like, what are you doing here? Why are you doing this? Here is that recording of Evan Chandler, the dentist from hell.
This man is going to be humiliated beyond belief, and will not believe it. He will not believe what's going to happen. And beyond his worst nightmares, to sell one more record.
This attorney I found, I interviewed several, and I picked the nastiest son of a bitch I could find. Once I make that phone call, this guy is just going to destroy everybody in sight. Any devious, nasty, cruel way that he can do it. And I've given him full authority to do that. It'll be a massacre if I don't get what I want.
If I go through with this, I win big time.
I will get everything I want, and they will be destroyed forever. They will be destroyed. June is going to lose Jordy. She will have no right to ever see him again.
Yeah.
That's a fact, Dave. That's what's
Does that help?
Michael's career will be over.
Does that help Jordy?
Michael's career will be over.
And does that help Jordy?
It's irrelevant to me.
It's irrelevant to me whether or not my son is helped. This is about money and power. He sounds like a really nice guy, really nice father. Even crazier update, by the way. Evan Chandler, that dad you're listening to, who started the initial allegation against Michael Jackson, well, he was kind of suicided. He committed suicide in November of 2009, 5 months after Michael Jackson was overdosed. Yes, Evan Chandler shot himself in the head. There were no witnesses. There was no note. He was found by his building concierge. Okay. Now, of course, you know, like I know, and we all remember, there were more allegations against Michael Jackson. In fact, an explosion of more allegations that came almost 10 years later in 2003. And I now need to remind you about 2003. I promise you this is all very relevant to Justin Bieber. It began for Michael Jackson in 2003 when a boy named Gavin Arvizo accused Michael of child abuse, saying that he was under 14 at the time of the alleged crime. The singer was then charged with 7 counts of child sexual abuse, 2 counts of administering an intoxicating agent. What else do you guys remember from that time? We remember that Michael Jackson, we were told, was a drug addict, that he was caught on a recording by his doctor, the doctor who would eventually mistakenly kill him alongside Diddy's security, current security. And in the recording, Michael referred to Jews as leeches. Then the media labeled him worldwide as anti-Semitic. He had never been called that before. It was also revealed that Michael had an enemy list, of which Tommy Mottola appeared. Yeah, alongside with Rabbi Shmuley. Yes, that Rabbi Shmuley. Illusionist Uri Geller, attorney Gloria Allred. Is this all coming together? It's just all of these names that we're familiar with on his podcast. Also, he named the district attorney Tom Sneddon and Janet Arvizo, the mother of another Jackson accuser. So that's what we remember. Here's what you likely do not remember. And again, we're going to jump back into our episode 55. Take a listen. We don't remember even that Michael Jackson, despite all of those media headlines and being accused of being a pedophile, he actually won his case. Yeah, despite 10 years of investigation, no proof was ever actually produced. I'm going to allow Ian Carroll, one of my favorite TikTokers, to explain that to you. Take a listen.
The FBI were investigating Jackson for 10 full years, and they presented no evidence of criminal conduct on Jackson's part. The files have been declassified and you can view them yourself. They include a raid of his home where they confiscated all electronics. This is their ID number that you'll see. We're talking computers, hard drives, cell phones, where they say the amount of gigabytes. And then following are pages like this where they have the ID of the different devices and they all say nothing. Literally, they all say this. They found nothing. But that didn't stop the press from running made-up stories about how secret FBI files revealed that Jackson had paid millions in hush money to dozens of boys he had abused, despite the FBI files directly negating that statement.
Well, that is an absolute fact. Michael Jackson was acquitted on all counts on June 13th, 2005. But of course, despite the fact that a jury acquitted him, despite the fact that the pop star had been vindicated in a courtroom, we know that's all about the media. It's all about what the media writes. The media tells you what a person is, irrespective of whether or not they have any evidence of whether the person is, in fact, what they say he is. That's the power of the mainstream media. Michael Jackson himself insisted that he actually was the victim of mother and son con artists, plus a prosecutor who had a vendetta. But a vendetta about what? And also, can somebody explain why he decided to, at the end of his life, become an anti-Semite? Become a Jew hater? Oh, actually, yeah, Ian Carroll can explain that portion again, too. Take a listen.
When you look into those allegations or those insults, you realize that because of his will that was probably fake and filed right before his death. So the will was signed on July 7th in Los Angeles by 3 witnesses. But Jackson's family pointed out that he was in New York that day, and there's video proving it. So they changed their story. But the witnesses definitely saw it, and it was just in New York. So anyways, because of this will, John Branca was put in charge of his estate, which included his net worth of $230 million, but far more importantly, his 50% share of Sony ATV worth $750 million. Yes, he was taking on Sony. He was going after the hand that feeds him. And when you look into John Branca, in 2003, Jackson fired Branca because he was siphoning money out of Jackson's accounts in collusion with Sony Music CEO Tommy Mottola and funneling it through a bunch of offshore accounts in the Caribbean. John Branca is Jewish, and Tommy Mottola is also Jewish. Plus, Tommy Mottola married Mariah Carey partway through his life when she was a young woman, and he was an old man. And there are other allegations about that whole situation you can look up on your own.
Yeah, so there you have it. Michael Jackson went to war with some very powerful people. And I don't know why, but I guess in his will, he wanted to leave everything to those very powerful people. He, as Ian mentioned, went after Mottola, Tommy Mottola, very powerful person in the industry who has connections, according to Vanity Fair, to the Mafia, right? So we're talking about some people that could do some real harm. When you read that article, I advise you do, called it's entitled Tommy Boy, to learn about his history. And really, Michael Jackson was outwardly talking even about the things that Mottola had done to Mariah Carey. He referred to Tommy Mottola as the devil. Like I said, he's not the kind of person that you want to go to war with. And not only that, Michael Jackson had the courage to call out how record companies cheat their artists. He wanted to stand up for these small guys and say, we cannot allow these sorts of things to go on anymore. Take a listen.
Record companies really, really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Sony, Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very, very, very devilish.
That clip was from 2002. His declaration of war on the industry of people who he was alleging was intentionally stealing and selling artists short, and who he no longer wanted to work with because he wanted to be a free agent. He wanted nothing to do with these people. And as Ian said, he was fighting this war privately and he was winning. At least he was winning it in the courtroom. But as I said, the courtroom doesn't dictate wins, does it? In that measure, everything that he was doing was really all in vain, because he is now remembered as Wacko Jacko. title that was created for him in the mainstream media that really hurt him. In fact, he sat down with Barbara Walters and spoke about how much that name hurt him. Take a listen.
You should not say he's an animal. Should not say he's Jacko. I'm not a Jacko. I'm Jackson. I have a heart and I have feelings. I feel that when you do that to me. It's not nice.
Now, I see some of you guys in the comments right now piecing it together. Why are we talking about Michael Jackson? And some of you are realizing, oh, okay, yeah, because the press attacks about Michael Jackson were not actually done in earnest. Yeah, in fact, what was happening was he was getting power over his own life and, like Ian Carroll exposed, was going to war with Sony and winning. And then, lucky for those executives, Michael Jackson died in very mysterious circumstances when he was overdosed by accident. Oh, totally an accident, this doctor. I'm sure it was an accident because of what happened to Michael Jackson, because of what happened to Elvis Presley, and what has happened to every person in the industry who has tried to expose what is happening in this industry, which was put together by a mafia, has been sustained by a mafia, and is to this day still, in my viewpoint, when I look around and see how things are being run, very much still being run by a mafia of sorts. I have no reason to believe that it ever stopped based on my own readings and the things that I've learned over the last couple of years. And our right to have our eyebrows raised and to ask meaningful questions because we cared about this health agenda, and us being gaslit by this alleged journalist who's pretending like, you know, she's walking around with Trump shadowing him, only to discover that it's a complete farce and that we were correct in our assessment that this is like a borderline personality trait in a housewife who is gaslighting people into following her Substack, purporting to have access that she certainly doesn't have, right? And by the way, that's always a clue. If people are speaking above you, just know that that's a tremendous insecurity. Like, I don't have to answer this question. Sorry, BRB with President Trump. Like, that's usually an indicator that someone is tremendously insecure and probably not the greatest truth teller in the world. I'm just so tired of it. I'm tired of Hollywood. I'm tired of DC. I'm tired of politicians. We just want to live in a world where people tell the truth and aspire towards goodness. So I'm going to say that. I want to read your comments. I am dying to see what you guys think about the Michael Jackson stuff. Again, you should watch the full episode because we went into everything. And again, that is episode 55. If you want to find that on Spotify, if you want to go back and watch it here, it was episode 55 when we did a birthday tribute to Michael Jackson, because I was one of the people that believed that he was guilty of something. And I did not know the intricacies of all the people that came forward and how conflicted those individuals were and why they came forward and who was behind them coming forward. And then you learn Rabbi Shmuley's in the mix and you're like, something's wrong here. Okay. This man, if he's next to you, it ain't good. Okay. Instant no. Comment section. You guys, what do we, 9 episodes left after today? That's it. 9 episodes. So sad. Misty writes, Corey Feldman, Macaulay Culkin, spoke out in support of Michael Jackson. These two were always open about the abuse that they experienced, but just randomly decided to protect Michael. That's when I knew it was questionable accusations. Yes, Macaulay Culkin, what a blessing, and Corey Feldman, for them to have done that despite all the tremendous media pressure. And then you learn about Wade Robson and what was going on with him in the background, and you realize that it was a full Black propaganda campaign. Because they knew that would be so shocking to them. Turnip, he said, so whenever you see paparazzi swarming a place, it's because somebody called the paparazzi. And what they'll do is if they're trying to drive somebody crazy, they will have somebody following that person's every move. And then they are phoning paparazzi to go there and to get the shot, because we don't live in like the 2000s anymore where the paparazzi was like this tremendously lucrative business because people didn't have their smartphones, videos, and could just send things very quickly, faster than the paparazzi should get there. So he's saying they're also intentionally following him everywhere because they're trying to trip Justin Bieber into a mental break, which is insane. And then I found out from somebody that they did the same thing to Britney Spears, even going so far as to have somebody while she was inside somewhere to pull out a piece of her car so that it wouldn't start. And so she was stuck when she was trying to turn her car on, and then all the paparazzi were swarming her. And so she had this like mental breakdown. They're trying to do this to Justin Bieber right now. And I feel like we have to be his prayer warriors. We have to be his warriors in the comments. When you see people that are contributing to this, trying to drive him into a psychosis, we need to be like gang, like a Christ gang. We're not allowing this to happen to him. They are not going to do to Justin Bieber what they have done to Kanye, what they have done to Britney, what they did to Michael Jackson before. And like I said, the scariest thing in the entire world would be if they somehow got him into a Psych 5150 hold, because that's where they do this jujitsu type psychological Harley Pasternak, going to give you some drugs and take you to La La Land forever, and play dates with your kids just won't be the same. Like, that's what Harley Pasternak said in a text message. Imagine being so thug life and knowing how protected you are that you didn't even say it on a phone call, you texted it to him. Like, he texted this. Look at this text. I'm going to help you. One of a couple of ways. First, you and I sit down and have a loving and open conversation, but you don't use cuss words, and everything that is discussed is based in fact and not some crazy stuff that dumb friend of yours told you or you saw in a tweet. Second option, I have you institutionalized again, where they medicate the crap out of you and you go back to zombie land forever. Play date with the kids just won't be the same. Totally regular gym trainer there, guys. That's just me and my gym trainer, me and my Pilates teacher, doing what we do. Said nobody ever. That was sent to Kanye, and that's why I'll never turn my back on him, because I know how evil Hollywood is. I'm excited for those of you that are in the book club that we're reading Hollywood Babylon next, because that's the origins of Hollywood story. And many of you guys have messaged me and said, Candace, you know the author of this kind of anger. He's dead. Yes, but he was a Satanist, and he was in. Yes, I'm aware of all of those things. He was in the club. That's why his book is more relevant. So I'm not promoting him, and we will talk about him. Our next meet, I think, is on Tuesday. We will talk about him and his background. And yes, he was into the occult, and he produced satanic occult type movies. I know all of those things, but that's why he knew it. That's why he knew what was happening in Hollywood. And that's why it's important for us to learn that, because the book is not him trying to indoctrinate us into it. He's just kind of going, this is how we built Hollywood. It's insane. It's totally crazy.
I just don't like leeches. I was so tired of it. They start out the most popular person in the world, make a lot of money, big house, cars, and everything, end up with penniless. It is conspiracy. The Jews do it on purpose.
First, I'd like to thank God. Who makes all things possible. First, I'd like to thank God who makes all things possible. First of all, I'd like to thank God who's...
Love is the most important thing in the world.
I love you.
With all my heart.
I love you very much. I love you more. I love you more.
Ever since I was born, Daddy has been the best father you could ever imagine. And I just wanted to say I love him so much.
I love you more, much more. I love you too. To all the fans around the world, thank you very much, and I love you. Without you, my mother and my father, I don't think we would be here. And of course, God. I love you very, very much. I love you! I love all the fans with all my heart. Thank you. I love you so much. I love you all. I love you, Vanilla! Thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. I love you more. I love you more. I love you so much. I love you very much. At the bottom of my heart, I love you very, very much. I love you from the bottom of my heart, really. I love you.
I love you most. I love you more, I love you most. Thank you. I love you.
Kirsten, I love you, and I love you very much.
It says Germany is here for you. I love you too. And I love all of you. I love you. Heal the world.
I love you. Thank you.
I love you too. Thank you so much. I love you and all the fans. I love you. I love you all. Thank you. I love you. I love you more. I love you very much. Thank you.
I love you. And the public, thank you.
And I love you forever. I love all the fans from the bottom of my heart.
God bless you.
To all the fans around the world, thank you very much. And I love you.
I love you more.
God bless you. I love you. I love you more, much more. I love you. I love you. Thank you very much.
But I just want to say I love you so much from the bottom of my heart, and God bless you. I love you. All the fantastic fans around the world, I love you very much.
I love you more.
I love you very much. And thank you all.
I love you. I love you more.
Thank you so much.
I love you all very much.
I love you too.
I love you.
And from the bottom of my heart, I truly and dearly love each and every one of you. Thank you so much.
I love you more.
I love you. I love you very much. And may God bless you all. I love you. Goodbye.
I love you.